We're on a mission to re-simulate every FIFA World Cup ever. This is episode 3 in the series, and you've joined us in the 80s. Halfway through our journey of time traveling through football heritage, and our resim winners list continues to grow. Right now, we've got Italia leading the way with 3 wins so far. Hungary are right behind them in second with 2 World Cups, and we've got nations like Brazil, Poland, Argentina, Uruguay, England, and the Netherlands are all on the board. So let's see how that chart changes today, kicking things off for the first time ever in Spain for the 1982 World Cup tournament. We've entered a new decade, and you all know what that means. We've come out of the 70s, and we now have our first ever World Cup expansion. We've gone from 16 teams to 24 teams. Upwards of 6 confederations are participating in the 1982 World Cup, with this edition of the tournament being the first of its kind, being the biggest so far. Now you're starting to see a few more niche nations in there, like El Salvador, Honduras, Kuwait, and the All-Whites New Zealand qualifying for their first ever World Cup. And this would be the summer where the Italians would claim their 3rd ever crown, beating out West Germany in the final 3-1 at the Santiago Bernabeu. And another fun fact for you, this was the first ever World Cup to feature a penalty shootout. So this tournament was revolutionary in more ways than one, but let's check out the group stages where things get a little bit trickier than what we're used to, as over in Group A, I know it says Group B, but the menus are kind of glitched here. Just follow along, as the nations were split up into 6 groups, with the first one being Group 1, where we don't have the hosts. We've got Poland, Peru, Italy, and Cameroon. Over in Group 2, we've got West Germany, Austria, Algeria, and Chile. Group 3 sees Belgium, Hungary, Argentina, and El Salvador drawn together. And over in Group 4, it's England, first time as Kuwait, France, and Czechoslovakia. Group 5 finally sees the host Spain, Northern Ireland, Honduras, and Yugoslavia. And to wrap it out, it's Brazil, New Zealand, the Soviet Union, and Scotland to finish up in Group 6. And then the top 2 teams from all those group matches goes into the second group stages, or the second phase of the group stages, where it then splits off into 4 groups of 3, and then the winners of those 4 groups enter into the knockout stages. Yes, I know there's a lot to wrap your head around, but once we get simulating, once we start firing through the tournament, then it's all gonna make sense. But yeah, this was clearly an ambitious tournament. FIFA implemented a lot of new rules, so let's see how it plays out. And if you're enjoying this series so far and can't wait to see part 4, the finale, make sure to drop the video a huge like down below, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on an upload for this series and an upload on this channel, so you never miss out on an episode in this series and an upload on this channel. That would be hugely appreciated. And also let me know down in the comments below, what is your favorite fun fact or something someone may not know about one of these previous World Cups? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading through them. Our previous re-simulation winners, the Netherlands, they finally got their hands on the trophy in 1978, 4 years prior, but they are nowhere to be seen in this World Cup. They didn't qualify, so Leo and Andre have to sit this one out with a 95 Hullet and 94 Rijkaard in midfield. And in terms of the World Cup match ball, there wasn't much deviation from the 1978 version. As we look at the 1982 Arrastango España, they pretty much look identical in terms of design. Like, they weren't straying too far from the original. They pretty much remain identical in terms of design, but their retro Adidas logo just gives it the chef's kiss. Nevertheless, now with all that out the way, let's get simulating and see if 1982 lives up to the hype. Here's how the first phase of the group stages panned out. In Group 1, we've got Italy and Peru going through. Both Cameroon and Poland will be eliminated straight up. Over in Group 2, we've got West Germany and Austria making it out. Meanwhile, Algeria and Chile will pack their bags and go home, with Group 3 seeing Belgium and Hungary advance. Argentina with 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss. 3 points wasn't enough for them. El Salvador finished rock bottom. And just to confirm that we're still in the 2 points for a win era, over in Group 4, we've got the 2 heavyweights, England and France, both making it out. France only needed 2 points, as Kuwait and Czechoslovakia completely robbed, eliminated on goal difference alone, which is kind of harsh. As we have Group 5, seeing the hosts make it through undefeated Spain, and also Yugoslavia to beat out Northern Ireland and Honduras to make it into the second phase of the groups, as we have both Scotland and Brazil to make it out through against the Soviet Union and New Zealand. Scotland top in that group, I did not see that coming, as we have the second phase of the group stages, this first group of 3 with Italy, Belgium and Brazil. It was literally the top contenders, the top tier nations, as Italy on goal difference, they got 3 points, and that was enough to see them through to the knockout rounds. In the second group, we had West Germany to defeat England and Yugoslavia, finishing on top with 2 wins out of 2. Scotland continue their undefeated run, finishing top against Hungary and Peru. And in the fourth and final group, we've got another huge upset here as Austria eliminate the hosts. On goal difference or head-to-head, they both finished off with 3 points, but Spain and France will be sent packing, as those 4 nations made it through to the semi-finals, where it saw Italy absolutely demolish Scotland and end their fairy tale run 4-0, and West Germany got it done against their southern neighbors 2-1. Austria also go home after being the giant killers, but that sets up, for only the 3rd time ever in this resimulation, the perfect recreation of the 1982 final, Italia versus West Germany. It's happened again. Will history be rewritten, or will Italy go ahead and claim a 4th title? Like many of finals in this series, not only is the World Cup on the line, but the Golden Boot is also up for grabs, with both Fischer of West Germany and Altobelli for Italia well and truly in the race, as we've had a lot of Austrian players, actually have prolific campaigns here. We've got the assist charts where a couple Scotland players are in there, so a couple of fairy tale runs in this tournament, which is nice to see. However, it's an all-European final on show tonight, and it looks like Italy are going to be without one of their talisman in defense. It is Franco Baresi. He's picked up a red card suspension and will be out of tonight's battle, so that's going to be a huge loss, as I'm sure these 3 in defense, Zoff, Schirea and Baresi, were one of the main reasons why they made it through to the final. An unorthodox formation used by the Italians, but it's gotten them this far, so why change it, as we've got Altobelli and Paolo Rossi, rest in peace. He was actually the top goal scorer in the 82 World Cup in real life with 6 goals, scoring 1 in the final 2, just like Tardelli. We've got some iconic Italian names in here, and the bench is filled out with 5 players too. And it doesn't look like there are any injury concerns or suspensions to worry about for the Germans. They're looking pretty picture perfect. Just pretty much everyone, nearly everyone in their starting 11 has a yellow card. They've got a 91 rated Lothar Matthäus in the reserves. What's going on here? He's getting a start surely, which is just going to make this German side even better, with Schumacher in between the sticks, Brietner and Matthäus in the midfield pivot, Rummenigge the captain, their highest rated player, and the man on the hunt for the Golden Boot, Fischer. But how will it play out tonight at the Santiago Bernabeu in the capital, in Madrid? Both rocking experimental formations and tactics. Are Germany going to continue this losing run in resimulated finals? They've lost 4 World Cup finals in this resimulation series alone. There is no way. They're just going to be crowned the forever losers if they don't get it done tonight. Even though it's my boys Italia, even I'm going to feel sorry for them if they take an L tonight. Like, there's just no coming back from that. 5 World Cup defeats, and we haven't even finished this series yet. They've come so close so many times. That's what they're craving, their first World Cup trophy of this video. And here we are at the old retro Santiago Bernabeu before its second major renovation. This was back in the 80s, so it wasn't fully expanded yet, as there was a crowd of 90,000 people packed in to watch these 2 juggernauts go head to head. And to date, it is the only final between these 2 nations at a major footballing tournament ever. We've seen it a couple of times in this resimulation video so far, so we have been blessed in that sense. However, will the Germans take revenge, or will Italia make sure history doesn't get rewritten? We've got the Azzurri kicking us off, so let's see it all go down. And here we go, the Italians on the attack already, a big cross inside. And Cabrini off to Oriali, who takes a big shot, but it goes straight down the throat of Schumacher. First shot of the match. And look at the old short shorts. Look at the OG Adidas retro boots. Just the aesthetics at the time. The haircuts, the mullets, the fashion statements from some of these ex-superstars over the years. It's a small realistic detail, but it's so cool to actually see it realized here in video game format. Antonioni with a delivery inside. The ball found the head, but it's another tame shot at goal. Corner here for Italy. It's nice to see the old Santiago Bernabeu structure. And Dremler just bicycle kick clearance. Finds the top goal scorer, Fischer. Rummenigge pushed off the ball, and West Germany win a foul. It's argy-bargy. It's getting physical. This was football in the 80s. Antonioni finds Tardelli, spreads the ball out wide to Cabrini, and Kautz shuts it down, but Graziani wins back possession. Cabrini with the ball inside, and it's that man, Paolo Rossi, to leap above the defenders and get the opener here in the 20th minute. It's Paolo Rossi, just like he did in the final in real life. He scores the goal, and it was a brilliant delivery on the inside. Jumps up like a salmon and places it into the top left-hand corner. Unstoppable. Schumacher had no chance, and that's his third goal in this tournament so far. Rest in peace to one of the best sharpshooters of Italian football. And it looks like history is being rewritten here. Paolo Rossi on the score sheet. And West Germany now have a lot to answer for. They are on a knife's edge. They're on the brink, staring down the barrel of 5 World Cup losses in a row. And Italy don't look like they're slowing down either. This 82 squad was built different. And oh my goodness me, it looked like Conti went for the acrobatics. Finds Fischer. Fischer fouled on the edge of the area, and it's right where they want it. A dead ball situation in the perfect spot with their number 7 standing over it. Is he going to deliver something special? It looks like a set piece from the training ground, but he goes for it, and it's straight into the clasp of Dino Zoff. That'll be halftime. The first 45's done. Italy in the lead, but only just. Ooh, Dino Zoff with it, a crucial mistake. Fischer couldn't capitalize off the post, and it almost happened to be the mistake of the century. A goalkeeper error that could have gifted West Germany the equalizer, and everyone holds their collective breath. Ops for the middle option, Litbarski, Brietna, who scored in the final in real life. Now another goal scoring opportunity. Fischer just spares this one wide. Can't stir it on target. Couple changes of the match. Both changes for either side. We've got Altobelli coming on for Italia, and then a number 14 for West Germany. Forster again. Ken Kautz getting a good delivery here, and no. Finds Forster, and Germany now don't have much time on the clock. I can't tell how much added time is given by the referee, but West Germany didn't have much of it, and it was one golden chance taken by Italy's Paolo Rossi. The Azzurri win it again and have won their 4th World Cup in this resimulation series. How many years before 2006? 20 years away from when they did it in real life. They've done it so much earlier here, and they've gotten out to a 2-trophy lead. They stand alone atop of the charts with 4 wins. It's absolutely incredible. They haven't let West Germany rewrite history as they suffer their 5th World Cup final loss, which is just incredible to think about. They send off Dino Zoff with the ultimate farewell party. They're kings of the world again, and this time they get to lift up the brand new trophy. I know a lot of you guys are going to say, oh, BCHD, you're rigging it for Italia to win all these World Cups. But honestly, I just want a good final. I just want to watch some exciting games go down in this resimulation. I can't help it if Italia are always involved, as the Azzurri get their hands on the prize possession here in Spain. It was a 1982 final rematch, and Germany couldn't get on the score sheet. They have been major letdowns in this resimulation, gotten so close so many times, and yet couldn't prevail with the trophy. Your 1982 World Cup champions, both in real life and this race simulation series, and they did it all without Franco Baresi. And there's your confirmation. It's set in stone now, a narrow 1-0 victory. As we draw the curtain on this tournament, the player of the competition is announced, and it's West Germany's Fischer, so I guess he's got a consolation prize, as well as the golden boot, sharing it with Jada of Austria. Dino Zoff couldn't get a hold of the golden glove, as it was Peter Shilton with 4 clean sheets for England. And in the battle for third place, it was Scotland to get the better over Austria in a 2-1 win. So 5-time runners-up West Germany, Klaus Fischer goes home with 5 goals and 1 assist. Of course, they had a guy called Wolfgang in their ranks, but when your big marquee players like Rummenigge, 94 overall, he's only giving you 1 goal and 1 assist. Something's up. It's just not happening, as Italy spread the goals across between Altobelli and Rossi. Tardelli and Conti also got involved with 2 goals each, but Altobelli finishes the top goal scorer for the world champions. That's a wrap for 1982. The Azzurri make sure that the history records don't get touched. And you know what's next. Let's time jump 4 years into the future. Pack your bags, baby. We're off to Mexico again, and this time for Mexico 86. You know the vibes. It's a World Cup in Mexico. What can go wrong? Now, this tournament continued that new expanded format of 24 teams, this time from 5 different confederations. And here we've got some more first-timers, some more countries making their debut, like Canada, Denmark, and Iraq. Still again, no Netherlands. They failed to qualify. We've got Portugal, Scotland, South Korea, the Soviet Union, and now, instead of the emblem of the nation, or their footballing association emblem, we've actually got the flags representing every single country, which is a small little detailed change. But of course, this World Cup is famous for Diego Armando Maradona winning the World Cup with Argentina, as they took down, you guessed it, West Germany in the final, 3-2 in a 5-goal thriller. Arguably the greatest player of his generation of all time even. As we take a look at the group stages, it's a little bit more of a refined format, but the hosts aren't present in Group A. We've got Italy, South Korea, Bulgaria, and Argentina, as we have the hosts finally show up here in Group B alongside Iraq, Belgium, and Paraguay. Group C sees the Soviet Union, debutants Canada, Hungary, and France. In Group D, we've got Brazil, Northern Ireland, Spain, and Algeria. And finally, Group E sees Denmark, West Germany, Scotland, and Uruguay. And okay, this one's the last one. Group F, to finish it off, we've got Morocco, Portugal, Poland, and England. A very interesting mix of teams there. As you can see, the third place spot is highlighted lightly, which means the best 4 third-placed nations will qualify through to the round of 16. And of course, we'll see that play out. But I think this is the World Cup that finally abolishes that, second phase of a group stage type format. We just go straight from the groups to a knockout format. Let's see if the hand of God gets recreated again. Can a prime 25-year-old Diego Maradona carry this Argentina squad to their 2nd world title? We're just gonna have to wait and see, as this is what the current champions of the time and in this re-simulation are looking like. Again, they've got this weird jumbled formation going on, but if it's working, hey, power to them. Mexico are back hosting 16 years later from 1970, and this was the tournament where the Mexican wave got popularized. Just again, another little fun fact for you. It was actually supposed to be Colombia to host this tournament specifically, but they pulled out due to financial reasons, and this is why we've ended up in Mexico again. But let's start simulating through this thing and see if the stars of the past and 80s football can deliver us some more magic moments. Here we are now. The group stages have been complete, and over here in Group A, we've got Argentina, Italy, and potentially Bulgaria to make it out into the round of 16. South Korea finishing in rock bottom. Over in Group B, we've got the hosts just making it out in 2nd place. Meanwhile, Belgium top the group. Paraguay might make it through, and Iraq will face elimination, as we have Canada. Maybe the teams that aren't highlighted in 3rd won't make it through, so I don't think Canada will qualify. Meanwhile, it's France and Soviet Union to make it through. Canada and Hungary both go home. Over in Group D, we've got Brazil and Spain both on 4 points to make it through. Northern Ireland, even with 3 points, it isn't enough to make it through, and Algeria finish in 4th, as West Germany, Scotland, and Uruguay will make it through to the round of 16. The debutants, Denmark, will face elimination, as over in the final group, we've got England, who came through perfectly. 3 wins out of 3, 6 points on top, alongside Poland, and Morocco with 1 point will make it out, Portugal finished bottom. I've never seen that. Morocco have made it through by getting one draw. It's unbelievable scenes here. As the left side of the bracket, we have Brazil absolutely demolishing Morocco 5-1. Italy took down the Soviet Union 2-0. Another 2-0 win for Belgium over Bulgaria. And England just make it out versus Scotland as they get eliminated in the quarterfinals, this time to Belgium 2-1. Brazil knock out the reigning champions Italy 1-0 to set up the semi-final where they took down Belgium 2-1 and have booked their place in the big dance alongside their fellow South American counterparts, Diego Armando Maradona's Argentina, who made it through this time with a 2-0 win over Uruguay. They made it out on penalties against Poland 5-4, and then against West Germany, they got that 1-0 win to send them through to the finale and book their place again in the 86 final. And this time, it's an all-South American affair, the likes of which we haven't seen in decades. We've been used to all these big all-European finals. This time, a different federation gets to show off their sauce. The Brazilians haven't got a hold of a World Cup trophy since 1958 with Pele leading the line, and Argentina want to complete their Maradona story arc as the legend, Dios as they refer to him, is going to have to do it without his right back, or this right wing back slash CDM, Giusti, who has picked up an injury. I'm going to replace him here with Boccini. They do have a 94 rated Passarella centre back available to them, but he didn't actually feature in the World Cup final, so I'm going to leave him in the reserves. If a nation that have actually made the World Cup do it in this resimulation, you already know I'm trying to keep it as realistic as possible, as close to their starting lineup in the final that they had in real life, and trying to replicate it here. The main focal point is in attack. Maradona right behind Valdano up front, which is just a lethal duo. Meanwhile, the rest of the team have kind of got to pull their weight. They aren't any world-renowned superstars. They're just here to do a job. Meanwhile, Brazil, they've got one of their strikers in fine form, Careca, with 6 goals so far. He's in the hunt for the Golden Boot. Both Platini and Rummenigge right behind him. Gary Lineker, who was the top goal scorer in real life for the 1986 World Cup with 6 goals. He managed 5 alongside Peter Beardsley. Paolo Rossi up there also in the charts, finishing in 6th with 3 goals. But Careca is going to look to get the goal to earn his country the World Championship, but also deny Pumpido in between the 6 for Argentina of his Golden Glove. Meanwhile, the Seleção Brazil, the only thing they won in 1986 was the Fair Play Award. They were knocked out and eliminated to France on penalties in the quarterfinals in real life. As they've overperformed here, they've got the likes of Zico on the bench, ready to make that super sub impact. But let's see if Muller and Careca can be the strike force to rewrite history and take down Argentina. With their captain Edinho, Falcao and Socrates in midfield. Here's what the 1986 match ball is going to look like on display tonight for the final. It's the Arras Azteca, and this is where they starting to implement a few new designs, a bit of Mexican influence in this match ball. It's still got that same structure, the same stencil, but it's got some nice little Aztec Mexican designs woven in. I like it. It's a bit of class in there. This is going to be an intriguing affair between the pair, and it's all going to go down at the Estadio Azteca. We were treated to a 5-goal thriller at the Azteca in real life, and apparently 114,600 people were crammed in to see it all go down and watch Diego Maradona lift that trophy there. He got his hands on the Golden Excellence and just solidified his GOAT status. It was his Canada event. It was his moment. And I think this resimulation just ups the ante and just ups the stakes even more, because they're up against Brazil. There is so much more on the line, so much more heat in battle. They're both looking for their second crown in this resimulation. So this is going to be a pivotal moment to see if Maradona can recapture that lightning in a bottle, or will Brazil, without Pele, in a completely new generation, find that fire here on a bright sunny day in Mexico? This is when finals kicked off during the day, during the afternoon. It wouldn't be until later on that the World Cup finals would push an evening start to get the TV ratings up, but that's the man to watch. 6 goals in his last 3 matches. Careca has really turned up the heat, but the Argentines will kick us off and just get the popcorn out. Let's appreciate this finale for what it's going to be. Here's Diego, the number 10, the Capitano. He actually didn't get on the score sheet in real life. Inside to Falcao, and he pushes forward, beats a couple men. Leo Jr. inside to Socrates, and this is something dangerous as the Brazilians created a moment. It was a cross-in at the back post, but Muller failed to get there and connect. Finds Alemão. Alemão with an ambitious ball over the top, and it's found. Oh, it's nearly found his man, but Pompidou was there to read it. But he manages to get out the ball, and Falcao with a nice little outside the foot pass to Careca, their number 9, their top goal scorer, tries to catch out the keeper at his near post, but Pompidou was there and pushes it out for a corner. But that's the first sign of danger so far. Back inside to Buruchaga, who's causing this Brazilian defense a lot of problems here. The number 7 can't find the right delivery. Falcao inside to Alemão. Nice little tiki-taka play here from the Brazilians, and they were almost like they were back on the beaches of Rio de Janeiro. And quite disappointing opening first half. Both teams know that. Both teams know they can do better. First change right on halftime for Argentina here, and they're bringing on some new personnel. But the Brazilians are relentless here. Muller, there's a player down, but they choose to play on. And look at him still going forward here. With an Argentinian player down, he's now gone down injured. It's not Maradona, which is good news, but it's their number 16. He can't continue, and it's one casualty for the Albiceleste that they're going to have to do without. Alemão trying to get out of that Argentinian traffic. Socrates with his famous short shorts finds Falcao, and he puts it inside to Casagrande. And again, another big opportunity gone to waste, but Casagrande back at it again. Are they going to carve it open? Falcao, Socrates wants to find the perfect pass, but goes for the shot, and Pompidou meets it. Oh, Brazil bringing out the big guns now. They're bringing off their number 15 and replacing him with the one and only Zico. Falcao wins the header, but gives the ball away. And now Argentina with a chance. Batista crossing at the back stick, and Carlos was there to punch it away. Leo Jr. with a big delivery into the box, trying to get something on it, and the woodwork has been struck. Socrates hits the crossbar, and a chance out of nothing. It's a no-look flick header backwards. And that's it. We're going to need an extra half an hour, an extra 2 halves of football to figure this one out. We're going to go to an extra time and potentially a penalty shootout, which was an actual rule. No more replays. Wins the ball back in a promising area. The number 10. Is he going to shoot on target, or is he going to let it off for Socrates? Oh, they've completely given the ball away, and now it's Careca in on goal, 1-on-1, and just like that, a moment of magic. And it's taken Brazil 106 minutes to break the deadlock, but they've pounced on the opportunity. And here in this 1986 final at the Azteca, it was a brilliant ball to split open the defense from Zico. The number 10 and the number 9 link up, and first time he's hit the ball with power and precision and scored his 7th goal of the tournament, potentially the most important goal that is going to get the Seleção their 2nd World Cup trophy of this resimulation. It is one of those moments that turns the game on its head, and Brazil have taken full advantage. Diego Maradona, is he down and out, or is he going to dig the team out of a dire situation here with Careca stamping his name on this final? Again, like I said, he hasn't really done much at all in this game, but when the moment arrived, he took a hold of it with both hands, and Argentina now just throwing everything they have at this Brazilian defense. We're in for an interesting last few minutes here, but it's park the bus mode for Brazil. And Clausen now ball on the inside. Have they got a target, man? It looks like they did, but the ball's just gone wide. The header out from Valdano, and their number 11 couldn't find the target. That might be their last chance of the game. Now Brazil is on the ball. They're just going to look to time waste here, or are they going to push for a second? Does Zico find his way through? He's not looking for the corner flag. He's looking for Casagrande. Ruggeri, there is added time, but I'm unsure how many minutes are left on the clock, and it doesn't look like there was much anyway, as it's Brazil to win another nail-biting final, another close one to upset Diego Maradona's party. No 2nd World Cup for Argentina, as it's their bitter rivals, which leaves them with a dagger in the hearts as the Seleção get to celebrate their 2nd resimulated World Cup victory. First up in 1958, and now here in Mexico in 1986. It was a tough, tense battle, but they got the job done in the end. Their top goal scorer delivered when it mattered most, and now the Brazilians get to party all night in the favelas on the beaches of Rio de Janeiro. There is your trophy lift. Maradona couldn't inspire his nation to a victory. He couldn't carry them on their backs, unlike he did in real life. So history's been rewritten here at the Azteca, and we needed extra time to figure this one out. Brazil made sure this one didn't go to penalties, and it's good to see another nation get their second World Cup title. They've hit the charts again. They've only had to wait, 28 years to do it again, but Brazil are your world champions without Pelé, and it's a moment they will never forget. They'll never let Argentina forget about this day. And there it is, history rewritten. Your confirmation is here. Brazil are the champions. Maradona doesn't get his fairy tale moment. The Brazilians have spoiled the party, and it's thanks to this man, Careca, up front. He's rocking the mullet, and those scoring boots helped him with those 7 goals throughout the tournament, especially that one in the final. So he finishes on top of the charts fair and square. Zico with that beautiful assist in the final managed 3 all tournament. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit of redemption after in part 2, Brazil just seemed to suffer L after L. After they lost that World Cup final against Italy, they just couldn't manage to get back on their feet. But now they have shown their worth, and they have done so in style. I can't believe they brought the likes of Zico off the bench here in this tournament. Like, that's what they did in real life. 2 goals and 3 assists, 6 appearances off the bench. And how did the 98 rated Maradona fare? 1 goal and 1 assist for the GOAT himself in 7 games. Played every single minute, played every single match, but just couldn't rekindle that fire, and was outscored by a CDM who looks like a Greek god. We're watching World Cup history be flipped on its head in real time, and that's what I love about this resimulation. You know what we're up to next. 4 years into the future, let's jump ahead to 1990. Italia 90, one of the World Cup summers I wish I was alive to witness. The 1990 World Cup tournament hosted by Italy for the 2nd time ever. For the 3rd World Cup in a row now, we have this consistent format of 24 teams, 6 groups of 4, with the knockout rounds preceding it. And the tournament featured 3 debutants, including the one and only World Cup to have the United Arab Emirates, Costa Rica, and the Republic of Ireland. As this was the summer where West Germany got the better over Argentina, denying them of being back-to-back World Cup champions, with a 1-0 win in the final thanks to a Andreas Brehme goal, and the rest was history. But let's see what this resimulation has got cooking up for us. As for the group stage, we've got the hosts drawn into Group A alongside Czechoslovakia, Austria, and the United States, so a little bit of a comfortable group there. Over in Group B, we've got Cameroon, the Soviet Union, Argentina, and Romania. Group C sees Brazil, Scotland, Sweden, and Costa Rica matched up against each other. Just such a random collection of teams there. And then in Group D, we've got West Germany, Colombia, Yugoslavia, and the UAE drawn together. Meanwhile, Group E sees Spain, Belgium, Uruguay, and South Korea. Potential group of death situation there, as our final group sees England, Egypt, the Republic of Ireland, and the Netherlands. Definitely a spicy group there, and obviously the top 2 nations qualify through to the round of 16, and then 4 of the best 3rd place teams will advance through to the next round. Now, according to my research, this World Cup alone had the lowest goals per game, sitting at 2.21, still the record low to this day. And as a result, a bunch of new rule changes came to the game only 2 years later, including the 3 points for a win rule in 1992, so we're still sat here with 2 points for a win in 1990, and the back pass rule to the goalkeeper as well was changed. So again, this World Cup was influential in more ways than one. It was definitely a pivotal moment in the world football sphere. It was the first World Cup broadcasted in HD, and it was just a huge success in general in terms of TV viewership and fan attendance. And this is where the record was set for African nations, as Cameroon made a huge run to the quarterfinals, and they were the gold standard for African teams. And I'm sure now, just sifting through those team sheets, you guys are going to realize and recognize a lot more players than you would have, I don't know, a couple decades ago in the 60s, in the 50s. So let's keep simulating through this tournament and see if Italia 90 is going to deliver. Let's take a look at the group stage results, as we've got the hosts, Italia, 3 wins out of 3 on top of their group alongside Austria, as we've got Czechoslovakia qualifying in 3rd. Meanwhile, the United States finishing rock bottom with 0 points. That was a terrible flop of a tournament from the US, but more on them in 4 years' time, as in Group B, the Soviet Union have provided a little bit of a shock here, coming through on top against Argentina and Cameroon. They both qualify through to the round of 16, as we have to wave goodbye to Romania. Group C sees another surprising group winner here, with Sweden alongside Brazil both finishing on 5 points, making it through. Meanwhile, Scotland and Costa Rica will be packing their bags, and in Group D, we've got Yugoslavia to come through perfect, just like the hosts, with 6 points. West Germany also follow through and qualify for the round of 16. Meanwhile, Colombia and the debutantes of the UAE will go home. Group E saw Belgium win it, with Spain and Uruguay qualifying through to the round of 16, and one of the only Asian nations, South Korea, to finish rock bottom on 0 points. Quite a tough group for them, and the big nations prevailed, as finally in Group F, we've got England to come out on top undefeated, the Netherlands and the Republic of Ireland to sneak in there with 2 points. They were the 4th best 3rd place team, and they make it through to the round of 16. Meanwhile, Egypt has to be eliminated. Now, moving on to the World Cup knockout bracket, I'm just taking a look at the left-hand side, and I can already just tell Sweden have made an insane run to the semi-finals, where they were eliminated by the hosts, and Italia, my boys. They seem to be the overperformers so far in this World Cup resimulation series, as they took down Uruguay 4-1, defeated Argentina with Maradona 2-0, and got it done against Sweden, as the Swedes had their best ever World Cup tournament performance. We had Germany knocked out early, and over on the right side in the round of 16, we had Brazil making it through all the way to the semi-finals, where they lost 2-0 to the England. The 3 Lions have made their way through to the final. What a run from Gaza and the boys, and you can't see it because my face cam's covering it, but they did take down Spain in the round of 16, 5-4 on penalties. So they managed to shake their penalty shootout curse, and that has propelled them into a big dance final here in 1990 versus the hosts. This is their big ticket item to cause a major upset and to rain on the Italians' parade, to finally bring home the World Cup gold again. As over in the 3rd place game, we've got Sweden, who got the better of Brazil 2-1 and deservedly takes home that 3rd place spot after an insane run. What surprises me though is that there are no English top goal scorers in the goal scoring charts whatsoever. We've got Baggio and Careca of Brazil all tied on 4 alongside Butragueno of Spain. And we've got some familiar names in here like Valderrama of Colombia, but we do have a golden glove battle on our hands tonight. Both Walter Zenga and Shilton will be battling it out, both tied on 4 clean sheets. Let's take a look at what the hosts are rocking with here. 8 years on from that night in Madrid, and they're going to have to do without their midfielder De Napoli in the middle of the park. We'll replace him. Ooh, I could go with Carlo Ancelotti to replace him, but we'll just put on the highest rated. Berti will join Giannini in midfield. Yeah, this was the divine ponytail. It was Baggio's team alongside Donadoni, Bergomi, the captain. Baresi is in the back line this time, won't miss the final. And Maldini, I'm pretty sure this was his first World Cup appearance at left back. Walter Zenga in between the sticks. And look who they've got in their ranks here. We've got Gianluca Mancini, Serena, Vialli. It's just a treasure trove of iconic Italian names, and it looks like they're on a mission to lift up that world championship for a 5th time here in Rome tonight. However, the challengers, the 3 Lions, England, have got some firepower of their own, and they want it to come home. They actually rocked a 5 at the back formation in this tournament, but the front 3 of Barnes, Lineker, and Waddle is the main talking point of this team. They've also got the fan favorite Gaza in the middle of the park too. So they're going to have to do without 2 of their main defenders. They're also going to have to do with their top goal scorer, McMahon, with 2 goals. So I'm not sure how they're going to cope, but they've got some decent squad depth. We're going to have Parker to be replaced by Stevens at right back, and the Butcher's going to have to be replaced. We'll play Pierce at left centre back and drop in Dorigo at left left wing back. England are going to have to do it without 3 of their starters. And on enemy territory too, man. These lot are up against it. Now, the Italia 90 match ball needs to be studied. Move over Mexico. We now have the Arras Etrusco Unico. Very much keeping that same structure and layout, but engraved with some beautiful Italian carvings. We've got this ball dripping in sauce. It was classy, it was elegant, and oh my goodness, the designers were on something here. A huge upgrade from that Mexico match ball. I mean, that just knocks it out the park. Yeah, this is where the 90s retro nostalgia starts to kick in. Just take a look at some of these kits. The Umbro England kit, that red detailing on the away shirt, and it's all about to go down right here at the Stadio Olimpico. You've seen the time slot. We've got our first nighttime final in World Cup history. We're going to see the floodlights beaming down on the players for this one. Here in Italia 90, we've got the classic running track around the Stadio Olimpico. The hosts would have packed this stadium out if they did make the final in real life. Obviously, West Germany versus Argentina didn't really draw the same crowd, but still a solid 73,603 people in attendance in real life. It was a fine evening for a bit of World Cup action and a brilliant night for a final, but this matchup is just so much more enticing than the one in real life. Although Maradona did feature in that final, we now have Italy's own version of Maradona, Roberto Baggio, with 4 goals. He's looking for world domination. He's looking for the golden boot, but England aren't going to be that much of a pushover. Is it going to be coming home, or will it go to Rome? I was about to say this is a rematch of the Euro 2020 final, but yeah, technically that hasn't even happened yet in this timeline, in this universe. But the Italia 90 final in real life was the first and only rematch, or back-to-back rematch of a World Cup final in history. We couldn't get that result here, so it just proves to be that much of an outlier. Roberto Baggio, take us away. And Gary Lineker was actually... oh no, he wasn't the top goal scorer in this World Cup. Maldini. Oh, Gazza wins the ball back from Maldini. And look at this counter opportunity for the 3 Lions. Waddle puts through Barnes, but Walter Zenga comes out to claim it. And Gary Lineker was actually... oh no, he wasn't the top goal scorer in this World Cup, but the top goal scorer was actually Salvatore Schillaci with 6 goals. He's playing tonight up front with Baggio, but he doesn't quite have the number of goals in this resimulation. Gazza back on the inside, finds Lineker. Nice little chopper set up for Barnes in the opener. It's the first shot on target, and John Barnes opens up this World Cup final with a goal to England in a sweeping move to crack open the Italian defense. Paolo Maldini hangs his head in shame, but it was Gazza to start off the move. A lovely little chop there from Lineker, and he turns provider in this World Cup final, and he just smacked it home off the crossbar and in, and the English fans go absolutely mental as Italia 90's final gets flipped on its head. The hosts 1-0 down in the first 20 minutes, and that's his first goal of the tournament, and what a time to get it. Yeah, look at that. Gazza, the nice little flick from Gary Lineker, and then Platt, I think, sent the ball. What vision. And that is going to be one of the most satisfying goals I think we've seen so far in a World Cup final. Italy still sleeping on the job so far. They have not showed up one bit. Still time to get the ball rolling. Still time to get back on track. And he'll offload to Donadoni. Finds him on the right. A few little flicks and tricks from the right midfielder. Giannini gets caught out. Baggio trying to spark something here. Berti offloads to Schillaci. Ball back inside. Giannini finds Baggio. And there Agostini tried for the shot. He gets taken out. And it's bundled its way through. Roberto Baggio had to help it along for the equalizer. And Italy are right back in this one. And boy, oh boy, we're in for some top quality action here tonight. It was England. They did their best. 2 players fell down in the box. Deflected and into the path of Schillaci, who dove for that one. Got there first to the ball. And the real world, the real life top goal scorer makes his mark in this final. Gets on the score sheet. And there you have it for the number 19. His first goal in this World Cup tournament. It's 1-1 here. And we are set up for a grandstand battle. as Platt finds Gary Lineker again. He has got the man on the right. It's Waddle in on goal, but Maldini with an absolute game-breaking tackle there. That's a goal-saving tackle. And I know he famously said if he has to make a tackle, he's already made a mistake, but that was a tackle, a generational tackle, as Shilton comes out for this one. He has to get clear, and we're still going here with D'Agostini. Finds the delivery. What an opening first half. The first 45 minutes, if the second's anything like that, I think we're in for one of the all-time greats. First change of the match tonight. Anyway, we've got the goal scorer Schilacci coming off, I believe, for Vialli off the bench. Gascoigne spreads it out to Waddle. He pushes it forward, beats his man for pace, and the number 8 trying to find a connection inside the box. Maldini stops him for the time being, and it's forced out for a corner. And is that Gaza coming off? No, he's been one of their best players. What is the England manager thinking? They're bringing on Brian Robson to replace him, but Gaza, honestly, one of the most entertaining players to watch for England tonight on the pitch. Brian Robson will come in and try and get a bit of fresh legs into the midfield for them. But still, England on a mission as Italy find a route to counter-attack. Vialli sets up Baggio in the box and over to Vialli. And he just pulls it wide, but that was a menacing shot. And now England to bring on another player. 2 number 9s coming on. Gary Lineker off. I think that's Carlo Ancelotti coming on in midfield too. So we've got some high-profile substitutions here. Another one of England's best players, Platt, will be coming off, being replaced by Hodge in the middle of the park. So let's see if these super subs can do a job. And that will be that. We are going into extra time, and for the first time, I think, in this re-simulation series, I'm happy to see this one go into extra time here because it's been that goddamn entertaining. We're all on the edge of our seats. The world is on the edge of their seats. Big tackle there from Robson, and the fresh legs in midfield is proving a point here. And look at that ball in from Hodgie. Finds Beardsley inside and at the near post beats out Walter Zenga. And could that be the goal that gets England their World Cup trophy for the first time since 1966? What a ball it was. It just set it up perfectly, but Peter Beardsley with the goal and finish of his life in the retro OG Adidas boots. He absolutely blasts the ball into the top left-hand corner, and Zenga could do nothing about that one. They caught the Italian defense sleeping, and Peter Beardsley off the bench. It's his second goal in the 100th minute, and in extra time, he clutches up for the 3 Lions, and now the English have got one hand on the trophy. 20 minutes left to play now, but as we speak, football is coming home. Are Italy going to force it into a penalty shootout, though? It's a ball on the inside. It's Baggio. It's a big shot, and Peter Shilton kept it out. And D'Agostini's attempt on goal. Shilton again. What a performance from him tonight. He's doing all the time-wasting tactics in the world. Look at him. He just boots the ball as far away as possible. And they're going to be some old-school shithousery tactics on display tonight. Don't you worry. Got Robson, who has been electric ever since he came on. I criticized the substitution of Gascoigne, but it has been a masterstroke from the manager. And now look at Italy. They're scrambling on home soil too. This would be an embarrassment up there with not qualifying for the World Cup. Now back to Maldini, who's trying to find that killer ball, and Vialli's poor first touch lets him down. On the ball now, beats out his man, and he's held onto it, and the referee calls it there. Italy had their chances, but it was Peter Shilton to keep them out and hold on to their precious 1-goal lead. For the English on Italian soil, they've upset the hosts and they've made football come home in this alternate reality, in this World Cup re-simulation. Forget your 30 years of hurt. There was only 24 years of hurt, and all you had to do was wait till the summer of 1990 to get your hands on the World Cup trophy. England, the 3 Lions, are your World Cup champions. They get on the board again to win their second World Cup trophy. And now the captain, one of their best players on the pitch, the man who impacted the result the most, Peter Shilton. 2 shots on target, and they took their moment. They grabbed it by the scruff of the neck, and there is your trophy lift for all you English out there watching. I know I'm Italian at heart. That one hurts to watch, but I would have hated to see us go out to a 5 World Cup lead. It just would have been boring at the top. It's good to see another nation get their second and keep the hunt alive, keep the race for the top spot in good condition as they go on to celebrate with their fans in Rome. It's a night they'll never forget, and England fans, will now be unbearable to deal with. But hey, that's the world we live in when you conquer the world. Footballers come home, the trophy can be red and white, and just looking at those stats, it looks like a smash and grab World Cup final. And there's your confirmation. There is your final verdict. England win the Italia 90 World Cup re-simulation. They actually ended up finishing in 4th place in real life, losing to Italy in the 3rd place playoff, so they get a little bit of revenge. As quite bittersweetly, the player of the competition is announced. It is Roberto Baggio. He lost the World Cup final, had a little bit of a stinker in the big dance, so a little bit of a letdown from the Divine Ponytail. And considering England had 3 of their starters out as well, it's a very disappointing night for the Azzurri, but nevertheless, it's a final. Anything can happen. The golden boot is going to be shared by 3 players. Robson finishes on top with that golden assist in the final to get him at 3. And I find it interesting with England because if you look at their goal scorers, it's actually quite spread out. They've had, what, about 10 individual different goal scorers. They had more of that connection and team chemistry. As for Italy's case, if Baggio didn't show up, it's most likely that they wouldn't get the win. And that's exactly what happened in the final. 4 goals and 1 assist to lead up to it, but Vialli off the bench with 2 goals and Mancini. So again, they had a goal scoring fest on their way to the final, but couldn't quite muster up that same attack and prowess when the big lights were on, when it actually mattered. And wow, so far 2 World Cups in a row for Diego Armando Maradona, and he has showed up 1 goal and 1 assist. For a 98 rated player for Argentina, he hasn't been doing much carrying. Nevertheless, this World Cup re-simulation continues to provide us with more thrills, spills, and action. And that final was just an absolute treasure to watch. So let's hop ahead 4 years later to 1994 and get it done. Pack your bags, book your flights. We're off to the USA for World Cup 94. For the first time in World Cup history, they're about to host it again next year in 2026, but it's time to relive it here. We're about to bear witness to the last World Cup to have 24 teams participating from 5 different confederations. We've had, what, 4 or 5 tournaments in a row now with 24 teams with this solid, consistent structure. We can introduce 3 new debutants, including Greece, Nigeria of Africa, Saudi Arabia, and Russia participating for the first time as they broke away from the Soviet Union. It's the same World Cup tournament format we've been used to in the 90s, 80s, and even 70s. Now I can officially say we're in the 3 points for a win era. As we take a look at the group stage draw here, in Group A, we've got the hosts Romania, Colombia, and Switzerland. In Group B, it's Brazil, Sweden, Russia, and Cameroon all together. Over in Group C, it's Germany, South Korea, Bolivia, and Spain. So South Korea shafted with another tough group, as it's Group D, seeing Nigeria, Greece, the 2 debutantes, alongside Bulgaria and Argentina, with Maradona at his last final World Cup, the last dance. He was actually expelled from the tournament in the early stages in real life after failing a drugs test, so hopefully he doesn't get up to no good in this re-simulation and we can actually see him perform on the world stage. We have Italy, Mexico, the Republic of Ireland, and Norway all drawn into Group E. And finally, in Group F, we've got the Netherlands, Morocco, Saudi Arabia, the debutants, and Belgium to wrap it up. We will be seeing 4 of the best 3rd place teams qualify through to the round of 16. If there's anything to take away from 90s football, it's the fact that goalkeeper kits were insanely wacky and just crazy in terms of design. I mean, like, these kits are absolutely out of this world. You don't see anything like this in modern football. Like, goalkeeper kits for some reason were on another planet. It was just a sight to behold, but nevertheless, this was the famous final where Italy lost on penalty shootouts to Brazil after it finished 0-0. After regulation time and extra time, Roberto Baggio famously missed that penalty to see Italy lose the World Cup final at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. So are we going to see some redemption take place, or will we witness a brand new winner right here on the USA soil? Come on, prime 90s football, show us what you got. Here are how the group stages have wrapped up. In Group A, we've got the USA lucky to make it out alive here, just scraping through as the best 3rd place team, but it's Romania to win the group and Switzerland to come through in 2nd, as Colombia will be sent home. Over in Group B, we've got Brazil to top the group as expected. Russia came through in 2nd with 4 points, and Cameroon, after their miracle run in 1990, come through as the best 3rd place team and Sweden made the semi-finals of Italia 90 and have been grouped here in 94. So what a difference 4 years can make, as Germany finished top of Group C with 7 points. Spain, as expected, come through second, but both South Korea and Bolivia will be eliminated, heading home, just like Nigeria and Bulgaria. That's a big elimination there, as Bulgaria actually finished 4th in real life, losing to Sweden in the 3rd place playoff. So both teams that made the semi-finals in real life are already gone here in this resimulation, as it's Maradona's Argentina and Greece, the debutants, come through with 2 wins and 6 points to see them through to the round of 16, just like Italy, where they absolutely obliterated the groups here with 3 wins, 9 points, 10 goals scored, 0 conceded. Man, bring back the glory days. The Azzurri absolutely living large. But Norway came through, qualified in 2nd. Ireland with 3 points. That was enough to see them qualify in 3rd. But Mexico completely flopped, as Group F sees Belgium and the Netherlands come out and qualify for the round of 16. Morocco with 1 point. And we've seen it again. A team with 1 point has been able to qualify through to the knockout rounds. And Saudi Arabia have been completely robbed on head-to-head. The debutants will be finishing rock bottom. And I might be mistaken here, although they aren't highlighted in 3rd and made it through. We've got Bulgaria. I'm just looking at the left side of the tournament tree. They've actually made it through to the round of 16, beat Romania, 1-0 win versus Russia, and lost out to Brazil in the semi-finals. The finalists in real life have made it all the way through and booked their spot in the big dance, taking down Belgium and the hosts USA in the process. I apologize for the confusion, but I believe this is the final World Cup where we have to deal with the 3rd place qualification nonsense. But over here on the right side of the draw, we've got 1 point Morocco eliminated straight away to Germany. We've got Italy versus Greece in what would have been an entertaining affair with a 1-0 win for the Italians. Maradona made it through versus Ireland and Spain, only to lose out 1-0 in the semi-finals versus Italia. And that means we have got a USA 94 final rematch. Oh my days, we are in for a generational match. It's 1994 all over again. And on top of the goal scoring charts, it's Romario's goals for Brazil that pulled them through to the final. Batistuta for Argentina managed 5 alongside Schifo for Belgium, as Signori, Albertini and Baggio all scored 3, as Signori and Baggio both up there in the assist charts alongside Dunga and Rai for Brazil. We've got Pagliuca, who wants to get his golden glove. 5 clean sheets tonight, I think is already confirmed, but he is looking like the best goalkeeper in the world with those kind of stats. Nevertheless, for this World Cup final rematch, the Seleção are going to have to do without one of their starting centre-backs, Alder, due to suspension. It might be a blessing in disguise though, as I will be replacing him with Cafu and changing it up so Jorginho plays as the right centre back, as Romario won the golden ball for the best player in the tournament in real life. He's looking for that top goal scorer award right here in this resimulation, led by their captain Dunga. I'm giving them the closest, most realistic starting 11 that they had in real life, so I'm going to be starting Mazinho here at this right midfield, right cam role, because he actually started there in the World Cup final. And believe it or not, they had a young R9 just sitting on the bench. However, the runners-up of Italia 90 in our resimulation are going to have to do without 2 of their starters, including Albertini, who's picked up an injury, and Berti, suspended for tonight. So I'll be replacing Albertini with none other than a young Antonio Conte, and Berti will be swapped out by Massaro at left wing. And Musi actually started at right back, and it might not actually make sense in terms of ratings, in terms of overall, but hey, that's what they fielded on the day. That's what I'm going to give them. Here's how both sides match up on paper, head to head. They're both rocking a variation of a 4-4-2, so 2 similar philosophies, and this has got to be one of my favorite Italian kits of all time. That little detailing with the logo engraved, the blue, the collar, even the away jersey goes hard, but we'll stick with the home, as Brazil have got their fair share of alternates too. Their logo is kind of in the inner detailing. 090s football, I believe the hype. I believe what everyone says about you. If only it was my childhood, but I'm glad we get to relive it here, as this is the World Cup match ball, the Adidas Questra. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. It's still got that same layout, the similar format. No OG Adidas logo, and the design is quite mid, so it's definitely a downgrade from Mexico 86 and Italia 90. And here we have it in the US of A. The stage is set. We've got all the pageantry in the world at the Rose Bowl, and we're back at it with these daytime finals. We had a nighttime final in Italy 4 years ago, but now in the US, we've got some funky referee outfits. What is going on here? We've got the World Cup USA 94 branding all over the joint. The retro sponsors, the pitch is ready. We've got a bright sunny day here in Pasadena. That is one of my favorite all-time Italian goalkeeper shirts, if not best goalkeeper shirt of all time for me, as Romario is definitely the player to watch. He is in fine form. I like all the little hanging balloons in the background. We've got the McDonald's sponsor. We've got the fans packed out in the stands. It was actually 94,194 people in attendance. And my oh my, it is a great day for World Cup football. Nevertheless, a World Cup final. It is just a sight to behold, and I love the way the mod does it. These retro details, the attention to detail is crazy. You've even got Romario's little earring there, I just saw, which is cool. They're ready to put those demons away here versus the boys from the favelas. Here we go as the Azzurri kick us off. Already with a chance, and oh my goodness, Taffarel caught into action early at the near post in the funkiest and brightest goalkeeper kit. He managed to get a hand to that one. I think this is the first World Cup where players actually had the names on the back of their jersey too. Oh my god, look what happens when I pause it. Just take a look at the environment, at the set piece. Oh my god, it is a gigantic stadium when you take a look at it from the Peter Crouch angle. That is crazy. Look at the environment around it too. It's like they've tried to recreate it perfectly in FIFA 16 with all the details. Man, that actually looks like an 100,000 seat stadium. You can't touch it in terms of retro mods. It is just insane. So Brazil in real life were on the hunt for their 4th star on top of the emblem. Oh my goodness. And that is a bit of foul play from Donadoni. Will it result in a red card? It is. Italy down to 10. And oh my goodness, man, that has changed the complexion of this matchup completely. Donadoni sent for an early ice bath, and he's lashed out there. Oh my goodness, he could have killed the man. Taken out his legs from behind, a little sneak attack, and the referees had none of it. And that is a pivotal moment. The right mid sent off. Now Brazil's got to be in control. Brazil's got to be on the front foot, because this is a golden opportunity. And again, things aren't linking up for the Italians. And this opens up a nice counter here for Brazil. Dunga being the main conductor in midfield. Romario looking for his 7th goal, but Bebeto, nice turn. Jarzinho, is that a goal? The referee, there's no calls for... Oh, there is a call for offside. I thought something was a little bit too fishy. And finally, the Lino's flag goes up. Saw the man down the line, didn't keep him on side. The first of many warning shots coming their way. And Signori's gotten onto it. It's a foul, but referee plays on. No red card for Brazil there as Massaro. Brazil now sliding everywhere. Massaro with a nice delivery at the back stick, and Branco. It will be a yellow card, and now this game's starting to get a bit physical. We're starting to see Cafu now lashing out. The proper physical battles and the proper challenges of the 90s we're all used to. And Brazil again failing to capitalize, but they won't be short of chances today. I'll tell you that for free, as Maldo Silva's even pushed up. Look at all these yellow shirts flooding through. Romario at the back stick, and the diving header just goes wide. I know he's got the golden boot in the bag, but come on, lad, hit the target. As Cafu now on a yellow card, tries a few flicks and tricks. No offside for Mazinho. It's a nice delivery, but again, Baresi is always there, and we'll head into halftime. 0-0, but Italy down to 10 men, and it's Brazil's final to lose now. Pasadena 94. Let's see if you can deliver us up a world-class finish. First substitution of the match has come through at halftime. The number 10 on for Brazil. I don't know why they're trying to cross her. I mean, you've got both Maldini and Baresi marking Romario. There's no chance he's winning a header. Here we go, the Brazil set piece. They crowd the goalkeeper. No man in the middle, and Pagliuca with a massive save from close range. Rai fresh off the bench, and look at him go, the super sub with a ball inside. Maldini clears away, and it was a pot shot. Recycles to Conte. And Italy trying to establish themselves, but with 10 men, it's going to be a tough task. And now all of a sudden, it's opened up. And Brazil one-on-one. Bebeto with the chance. And Bebeto, the number 7, isn't going to miss from there. It was the perfect moment. The Italian defense went to sleep. And all of a sudden, things opened up like the Red Sea. A nice little finesse into the bottom right-hand corner. And he catches out the Italian shot stopper. the Golden Glove frontrunner, to open the scoring up here. And finally, the 10-man or the 1-man advantage takes center stage, and it's Bebeto with his 3rd goal of the tournament so far. A beautiful assist from Zinho, and Brazil are finally in business here. Italy now have got a mountain to climb. Not much more this man can do as he's trying to do everything himself. Masato wins the ball back. Baggio was there, and he was slightly overhit. He didn't read the play. Nice delivery on the inside. Now it's all or nothing, and Roberto Baggio is offside, and that just caps up his day out. Substitution here for Brazil. Zinho's coming off, and he will be replaced by their number 16, Leonardo. And it's an attacking change. They're not sitting back and holding this lead. Brazil want to compile the misery, and Italy yet to make a tactical change. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, no subs yet. Another substitution here. It's the goal scorer, Bebeto, coming off, and he will be replaced. Is it potentially a young R9 Ronaldo? He wasn't subbed on in real life. Oh no, it's going to be Sergio to come on and replace him. And Brazil are now just camping back. They are withstanding this Italian attack, and the referee will call it there. Italy didn't show up. Baggio with another disaster class in the final, and Bebeto took his moment, took his golden chance, and started the final. Baresi looks defeated. He looks like he's about giving up with life. He might retire after this. 2 back-to-back finals lost, and this time it's the exact same result as in Pasadena. It's an Italian L. Brazil are World Cup champions. They did it in regulation time. They didn't need a penalty shootout to decide it, and Bebeto now re-etches his name into the World Cup history books as the captain. Dunga will get to lift up this trophy. He was just the master conductor in the middle of the park. Everything went through him. He was a defensive force, just led with class. And here he is for the trophy lift up. And it's the South Americans celebrating today. Italy with back-to-back World Cup final heartbreaks. And Roberto Baggio can't redeem himself or the nation. And now Brazil are up there. They're right behind Italy, chasing them on top of the World Cup resim list with 3 wins now. 1958 with their golden boy Pelé, 1986, and now in 1994. They only had to wait 8 years for this one. They hand-delivered Italy another gut-wrenching loss after they went down to 10 men, and a young R9 Ronaldo in there celebrating off the bench. It's their 3rd star on the shirt, and by the looks of things, the Seleção are back on track. And there's your confirmation. The resimmed final comes through with a Brazil victory. No penalty shootout drama. Nevertheless, the player of the competition announced didn't really do much in the final, but it's this man. It is Brazil's Romario. Also takes home the golden boot, the golden ball, and the World Cup trophy. The hat-trick of accolades that only few players have done so far in this resimulation. There are no changes in the top scorers charts or the assist charts either, but I guess Pagliuca gets a nice little consolation Golden Glove award. Here are the champions that got the job done in real life and here in this classic patch mod. Romario, 6 goals, 1 assist. You've got Bebeto with 3 goals. Paulo Sergio, who came off the bench in the final, 2 goals for him. A lot of love being spread out. Mauro Silva, Jorginho, and the Rai all on the score sheet. Dunga got himself 2 assists as the captain. And Italy go home with their tail between their legs, humiliated again after completely massacring everyone in the group stages. Just like at Italia 90, they couldn't get it done in the final and fumbled at the final hurdle. But that is how the cookie crumbles. It's another tight affair in the big dance as the 3rd place matchup sees Bulgaria come through, finishing in 3rd, and Argentina lose out. 4th place spot for them and Maradona. We've got to say goodbye to Diego Armando Maradona, his last World Cup, and again failed to really carry his nation. I mean, for the baller that he was, he really hasn't shown up in this resimulation, and that's the beauty of this resimulation. History gets rewritten, legacies and, you know, winners change up. We're experiencing an alternate reality, an alternate timeline take place right before our very eyes. So let's time jump 4 years ahead and make our way to 1998. We're back in Europe for this one. France is the destination. The 1998 World Cup tournament hosted by the French. Now we get our 3rd expansion of the tournament format in World Cup history. This is the first World Cup to have 32 teams. An extra 8 teams qualified for this Coupe du Monde, and also an extra 2 groups to include in the group stages. And I guess this format would remain consistent all the way up until Qatar 2022. So this formula was tried and tested. It hit the perfect tournament structure over a month, 64 matches played, more viewers, more tickets sold, everyone was happy, and most of my generation and I guess the rest of the world were content and, gotten used to this World Cup tournament structure. We have 4 debutant nations, including Croatia, Jamaica, Japan, and the mighty South Africa, who'd go on to host it in 2010. But we're not there yet. The French would go on to lock in and win the Coupe du Monde on home soil, absolutely destroying Brazil in the final 3-0. It was Zidane versus R9, and Zizou made sure to carry his country on his back. But it's all up for grabs again. Here is your expanded 32-team group stage. This is what we're working with Group A. Surprisingly, France aren't drawn in, or the hosts aren't in Group A. It's the reigning champions in real life and this re-simulation, Brazil, followed by Norway, Scotland, and Morocco. So a pretty easy layup there for the South Americans, as we have the runners-up of 94, Italy, Austria, Chile, and Cameroon. Over in Group C, it's finally the hosts, France. They get drawn in with Denmark, South Africa, and Saudi Arabia. So we're starting to see less of these tough top-tier nations packed into one group, as Nigeria, Paraguay, Spain, and Bulgaria get thrown into Group D. Are we going to see a group of death? This might be the closest we've got to it, as we've got both Netherlands and Belgium here in Group B, alongside Mexico and South Korea. With Group F up next, it's Germany, Iran, the United States, and Yugoslavia. So a very feisty group there, as we have one of the most fascinating 4 teams drawn in here to Group G, with Romania, Tunisia, Colombia, and the Italia 90 champions, England. It's Argentina's first time without Maradona at a World Cup so far. You've got the triple threat of the debuts all in there, Croatia, Japan, Jamaica, and it just sets up for the structure that we're all used to, the top 2 advance through. None of this third place nonsense. We've got a current record of 64 matches to simulate here, and yeah, this is the biggest World Cup yet, the biggest tournament we've had to re-simulate, and look at all the matchups we've got to look forward to. We're about to see some generational ballers go at it here. The late 90s provided with some famous world names in football, and of course they're going to be on display on the biggest of stages. Look at that Japanese goalkeeper kit, man. Oh my days, take my money. Let's dive in and see what kind of action and storylines France 98 is going to throw at us. This World Cup tournament, like many before it, came through with a lot of changes and some technical advancements, like finally the 4th officials used electronic match boards. There was the introduction of golden goal, and also teams were now allowed 3 substitutes. We also saw the first ever World Cup standalone video game by EA. It was just revolutionary. EA got the rights to it, and yeah, those were the good old days, man. The days of standalone World Cup games. This is where it all started. France 98 was the one. As for your group stages, serious how they've wrapped up here. In Group A, we've got Brazil finishing comfortably on top, with Scotland right behind them. Both Norway and Morocco are packing their bags and going home. Over in Group B, it's Italy and Cameroon to make it out there, so a bit of African representation. Italy perfect again, like they always seem to be in the group stages, as we wave goodbye to both Austria and Chile. Over in Group C, it's Denmark and hosts France actually took an L in the groups, and Denmark came through on top. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia and South Africa will be eliminated from the tournament. In Group D, we've got another surprising table topper here in Bulgaria. Their golden generation is firing on all cylinders. Meanwhile, Spain come through in second. Paraguay and Nigeria go home. And in Group B, it's both the Netherlands and Belgium. As we predicted, the semi-group of death turned out to be quite straightforward, with both Mexico and South Korea not making it through. And in Group F, we've got both Germany and Yugoslavia tied on 7 points, and the USA, fresh off hosting in 94, come through third with 3 points. Not good enough to make it out. And Iran, just with a terrible time, losing every single match. In Group G, saw England finish top. They came through pretty much picture perfect. Meanwhile, Romania snuck in as Tunisia and Colombia, that's a big shock, finish grouped and rock bottom of the table. And over in Group H, to round it out, we've got Argentina undefeated with 5 points on top. Meanwhile, Jamaica make it out there. Okay, that is a little bit of a fairy tale there. The Jamaicans are into the round of 16, beating out Japan and Croatia in what was the tightest group of the tournament. Now, just taking a look at the left side of the tournament tree, we have got Brazil, who took care of business against Cameroon. Bulgaria, they nearly made it out. They made France squirm after it was 3-3. They won 4-3 on penalties to see Le Bleu make it through. The Netherlands took down Yugoslavia. Romania, in a shock win against Argentina, defeated them 2-1 to make it through to the quarters, where they eventually lost to the Dutch. And then the Dutch fell 3-2 in a 5-goal thriller against the hosts to see France advance through to the final on home soil, just like they did in '98. Meanwhile, on the right side of the draw, we had England versus Jamaica in the round of 16, where the Three Lions got the better of them, only just though 2-1. We had Belgium eliminated by Germany. Germany took down England, but then they ended up losing out in the semi-finals to Italia, and the Azzurri are in to a third straight World Cup final. You know, you guys are going to scream bias in the comments. I want to see different nations in a final. I want to see, you know, some exciting matchups, not just Italy. Not to say that France versus Italy in '98 would not be an exciting matchup, but still, this is a historical fixture. Instead of Brazil, the French have got to take down the Italians if they want to recreate history. The French are actually the last hosts on record to win the World Cup on home soil, and it looks like they're going to go out with their strongest starting 11 here, but no injuries. They do have one suspension here with Patrick Vieira picking up a red card, so he will miss out on proceedings tonight. Thierry Henry didn't actually participate in the final whatsoever in real life, so I'm actually going to replace him with someone who did and started the final, which was Stefan Guvarch. I'm just sticking to how they lined up on World Cup final day. They've got some firepower to come in off the bench, like Robert Pires and Trezeguet, and instead of Laurent Blanc at the back, they actually had Frank Leboeuf to partner up with Desailly. So I've done a few realistic changes. Same goes for Italy, as they actually deployed a 5-3-2 or a 5-2-1-2 formation in this final, with Bobo Vieri and Alessandro Del Piero up front, with Dino Baggio starting behind the strikers, as it was Roberto Baggio coming off the bench. So again, a lot of big changes. Maldini was the captain at left back in this 5-back system, and this is actually what they used in their quarterfinal elimination to France, where they lost out on penalties. So let's see where these two teams take us tonight. How are these two systems going to match up against each other? And Italy entering their third final in a row. This can't be their third World Cup final loss. That would be an all-time low. Let's take a look at what the France 98 match ball is looking like here. We've got the Adidas Tricolore, and now you're starting to see a bit of color on these match balls. It didn't just have to be the old traditional black and white. We're now starting to see the predominant blue. Obviously, we've got the white, but you can see a little red accents in there, a little bit of a French touch on the match ball, which is always nice. They're very evenly matched, as they always are in a final, but like I said, the Serie A was the best league in the world at the time. In the 90s, it was the gold standard, so it kind of makes sense that Italy have made the World Cup 3 years running in the 90s. I'm sure that's about to change as we'll enter the 2000s, but here we go. This match was originally supposed to be played at the Stade de France in Saint-Denis, but unfortunately, for some reason, we are still stuck at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena from 1994. So the stadium is actually in America with 75,000 fans, predominantly French, I'm assuming, packed in to the Stade de France. Unfortunately, there's something wrong with the mod, or there's a glitch on my end where I just can't get the Stade de France working. So I hope we're all right with that. I hope we're going to deal with the Rose Bowl for one more final, as there was 1.3 billion watching on TV. Let's hope for a big spectacle. We're back in Europe, so you know what that means. We've got a 7 p.m. night kickoff. Can France get their hands on their first World Cup trophy of the resimulation? This is their first time that they've made it to a final, just like in real life, so the stars are kind of aligning here. Or will Italy break the curse of the 90s and finally get their hands on the 5th World Cup trophy? France just want to get on the board right in front of the home crowd. Let's lock in. We're getting an early preview here of what went down in 2006 in Berlin, especially in a big stakes match like a World Cup final, as Dino Baggio can see Del Piero inside Dino Baggio. It's saved by Barthez off the post and off the crossbar and racketed out. France are living on a lifeline right now. That should be 1-0. It is denied, and the football gods are on France's side tonight in front of all the French home crowd. Are they going to look to do what England did to them at Italia 90? They are playing with a lot more attacking potency. Thuram, both of his boys now, both of his sons playing in Serie A. KF now on this right flank. Passes off to Zizou. Zizou's first chance, and Pagliuca had to push that one out. It was a vicious attempt. Could have been his goal. He scored a double in the final in real life. And it's a substitution straight away for the Italians off the bench. Oh no, it's actually Baggio. Roberto Baggio off the bench for Italy. It is a first half, or start of the second half substitution. And they've brought off Bobo Vieri. We've got Cannavaro with an injury warning. So the Italians with some decisions to make as substitution again. And this time it is an attacking talent coming on. I think that's Albertini on in midfield for Italy. And Pezzotto wins back the ball. It's a charge towards the end of the area. And oh my goodness me, it was Dino Baggio with the header on target, but Barthez was there to meet it. And this time, Trezeguet on for Guivarch. So an attacking change for France. They want to see a goal. Got substitutions from both sides, whether they want to go for it or are they prepping for extra time. I guess time will tell as a young Roberto Di Matteo comes on. 14 years before he'd go on to win the Champions League with Chelsea. Third time wasn't a charm as Del Piero has put a magical ball into the path of Roberto Baggio, the divine ponytail. He's looking for an opening here. Is he going to give it off? It's Del Piero inside, and it's the shot. Read it with the header. Back on the inside to Zinedine Zidane. It's a hard-driven delivery, and Pezzotto got the crucial touch in there, but that was a perfect ball set up on a silver platter. It's a 3v2 here if Italy play their cards right. It's actually a 4v2 as Del Piero just lofts it into the box. It's Roberto Baggio on the header, but it's way too easy for Barthez. And Deschamps, the captain, coming off. That's a big call from the French boss. And now their number 21, Boghossian. He will now take the field. Baggio. Oh, Costa Corta's lost it. And Zidane with open rein, and he gives it off to Boghossian. And the man who replaced the captain of the country spurs the golden moment to win it and sends his shot wide. And the referee might give the hosts one last chance here. The ball inside the box. It's fallen out to Leboeuf. And again, this time a centre-back gets a chance on goal. We're headed for extra time. And we're going to need some more magic from that man Zizou, because right now we're completely locked at a stalemate. Maybe this was the final that was meant to go 0-0 into a penalty shootout like in 94. The emotions are riding high tonight. Oh my God, Di Baggio giving a bit of lip to the ref. Oh my God, the Italians going at the referee. I don't know what they're complaining about. He came in late, but that's 90s football, baby. He's lost at the border, Zidane, and that's not what you want to do. And all of a sudden, he has set up Leboeuf. He's got a free man in the middle. It's KF who completely skies it. And oh my goodness, France have missed an abundance of chances now. It's getting silly. And the hosts might be embarrassing themselves in front of their own crowd. And now Zidane running on through their number 10 with a pinpoint delivery. And Pagliuca finally caught into action. And it's just back and forth action right now. Both teams desperate to score. They don't want to let it go to pens as Albertini now cuts on the inside. It's a cross into Dino Baggio. Squares it across to Alessandro Del Piero. It is Italy's number 10 to pop up at the right place at the right time. It was unselfish from Dino Baggio, but the play was on. Del Piero to smash it home, and Barthez was wrong-footed. It was an Italian counter-attack that was absolutely lethal, and that was his 4th goal in this 1998 World Cup tournament. Deschamps is out here seething on the bench as they took off the captain of the country. Is that going to come back to bite them? But France now have 5 minutes to try and push this to penalties. They've got no choice. Can't really click at all. But Lizardo tries to test Pagliuca. Somehow managed to get the shot away. And here we go. Emmanuel Petit on the corner. What is he going to whip up? The left-footed in swing up. Back post. It's Zinedine Zidane, who has come to his country's rescue. The man who scored a double in the final in real life on home soil. He is clutched up at the back stick, scoring a header. And Emmanuel Petit's delivery was absolutely pinpoint. Pagliuca gets caught out. And his hand, he got a hand to it, but it wasn't strong enough to keep out the bullet header. And Zinedine Zidane might have just salvaged his nation from an absolute embarrassment at the Stade de France. It's the king. He's got the bold spot on. It's his first goal of the tournament. And now we are back level pegging 119th minute equalizer. But finally, we've got some drama to sink our teeth into. And now all of a sudden, Italy on the back foot. After the Del Piero heroics, we are headed to spot kicks. Oh my days. We are taking this one to pens. We haven't had a penalty shootout since West Germany versus Netherlands in 78. So here we are again. They did it in 2006. They're going to do that before it even happens here in France 98. And that's your penalty shootout order. It's Zidane up first. He had the last laugh in extra time. Let's see what he's got up his sleeve. It is all on the line here as the stadium hold their breath. Zinedine Zidane hits the crossbar. Oh, wow. France, all of a sudden, their star boy completely misses. Italy's doesn't, though. Roberto Baggio remained cool, calm, and collected. We've got Trezeguet now. The French are under the pump. Les Bleus, will they respond? And he goes straight down the middle. Just gets it in, though. And Del Piero, he got Italy's goal in extra time. Can he convert from the spot? And he does exactly what Zidane did and hit the crossbar. You are kidding me. Now we're all square as Dugari, the number 21, steps up to the plate and he's gone down the middle again. We've got Fabio Cannavaro to take a penalty. Are you kidding me? All right, Fabio up to take the spot. And he goes right down the middle. It seems to be the most successful tonight. Djorkaeff, he's got a interesting stance, but will it convert? And no, Pagliuca saves the seconds. And now Albertini, who could possibly get Italy into a very advantageous position. And what was... Oh my God, are you kidding me? He's going for the Panenka and he skied it. This penalty shootout has got to be generational for how funny it is. And Petit almost hit the crossbar for the third time. What are we in for now? I think if Italy miss this, France might take it home. Pezzotto needs to convert to stay in it, and he does exactly that. It's 3-3. Now we're headed into sudden death. Lilian Thuram, they both missed 2 penalties, and Thuram is going to go down the middle again. Seems to be the most successful. Roberto Di Matteo. But it comes down to this. Is he going to keep Italy in the game, or will Barthez be the hero? The number 16. Oh my days, that was close, but the power is enough to take it through. Bokhassian, he came on for Didier Deschamps, and was that the right move? He buries his penalty, bottom left corner. Oh, it's Dino Baggio. He assisted Del Piero for the goal in extra time, and oh my goodness me, so that was close. As Leboeuf's now up, he pushed up as France were desperate for a goal. And the centre-back makes no mistake. Who have we got here? Costa Curta, another defender in the 5-back formation. And oh my goodness me, hits the crossbar, but it goes over the line. And I've got no more words for this penalty shootout. This has just been chaotic. And Desailly up for it. And it's Pagliuca who saves it. And now France are in a dire situation here. If Italy convert, who is it up now? Bergomi, the former captain of the national team. Will he convert to win the World Cup for Italy? To win their 5th against the hosts? They've broken the curse here in France 98. They've humiliated the French on their own patch, just like what happened to them at Italia 90. And they win the re-simulation on a penalty shootout, which just absolutely provided so many thrills and spills. Barthez couldn't do much about that one. And the right back absolutely slots it. They end up winning 7-6 on pens after a dramatic second half of extra time. It is now the Azzurri triumphing over Les Bleus, denying them of their first ever world title. And that is now number 5 for Italy in this World Cup re-simulation. They've exceeded what they've achieved in real life. Now it's that man Paolo Maldini from left back to lift it up for Italy here in 98. Originally knocked out in the quarterfinals and somehow managed to cause the upset on home soil. France don't get their home World Cup. They ain't the champions of the world. It is Italy now here in the 90s when the Serie A was at its peak. Now with 5 World Cup crowns, I don't know who can catch them. France could have gotten on the board there. All the teams right below Italy in the resim winners list just absolutely hate that result, because the closest we've got now is Brazil with 3. Italy have extended their lead by 2. What a campaign, man. I just realized I haven't even checked in on the top goal scorers or like any of that stuff. So we've got a lot of stats and a lot of numbers to crunch once we get back into the menus. What a night, what a moment. And the French have completely gone bust. This re-simulation just continues to give us some insane content, as there's your confirmation, a 7-6 penalty shootout victory in the final. And now the player of the competition announced. It's actually no team from the finals player. It is Laudrup. I don't know which brother, but he's won the golden ball playing for Denmark. It ended up being Michael Laudrup with 3 goals and 1 assist. Okay. At the top goal scorers list, it was actually Trezeguet. Came off the bench. Del Piero was also in the hunt for the golden boot. Ultimately, it's going to be shared between Trezeguet and Nilis of Belgium, who both scored 5. Baggio also was on 4. We had Ronaldo and Bebeto also tied with 4. Shearer, Sheringham, Stoichkov. We're seeing some classic names here. JJ Okocha for Nigeria. It is just a blast to look through these. As the assists, we've got Shearer. We've got a whole bunch of players tied on 2. I'm not even going to mention them all. Nevertheless, the hosts are the ones with the major L here. They couldn't replicate what they did in real life. And I can't believe that. Zidane, in the 119th minute of the final, that's when he got his first goal of the tournament. He's let them down here in this resim more than Maradona did for Argentina. Their party has been spoiled by none other than the Italians, of course. And it's the same old names. Gianluca Pezzotto, I thought in the final, was, you know, he got involved. He had a brilliant night out. 2 goals and 1 assist for him in the tournament. Definitely an underrated player. Arguably, Del Piero had a shout for the golden ball. 4 goals and 2 assists. Won the World Cup, but it is what it is. And now, as we enter into a new millennium, we're crossing over into the next century. 2002, you're up next. We're out of the 90s, and we're traveling to the first World Cup ever hosted in Asia, and the first to be jointly hosted, this time Korea and Japan sharing the hosting duties, and the second consecutive World Cup to feature 32 teams, this time from 5 confederations. And they continued on that successful France 98 formula. There were some major upsets, some big controversies, some refereeing decisions that were questionable, and a whole lot of drama. And this time we've got 4 debutants that qualified, including China, Ecuador, and both 4-star Senegal and Slovenia. And now we finally hit a World Cup that I was alive for. Personally, I was only 2 years old, so I don't really remember any of it. However, in the final, it was Brazil to win out against Germany 2-0, with the one and only prime R9 Ronaldo to score a brace in the final to decide it. And man, it feels good. We're in the 2000s, the peak time period for world football. What a time to be alive. And oh my goodness me, the match ball for this tournament has got to go down as one of my favorite match balls in World Cup history. Potentially one of the best footballs of all time, the Adidas Fever Nova. Oh my goodness me, that picture doesn't do it justice. It looks way better in real life, and it is just an absolute gem of a ball. The first of its kind. Yeah, this ball just encapsulates the tournament perfectly. But I'm going to leave you lads on a cliffhanger before we get smack bang into the action of the 2000s. With some classic iconic tournaments coming up, I'm going to leave it there. So make sure you drop a like on the video down below. Check out the mod. It is listed and linked down in the description below. It's completely free. If you want to download FIFA 16 for completely free, I'll leave the link down there. Or if you want to repurchase it, I'll leave my G2A affiliate link also there if you want to get it legitimately. But I hope you lot have enjoyed the mini-series so far. We're now 3/4 of the way through, and we have 6 tournaments left to get through. So make sure you join us for part 4 as we explore more World Cup history in the 2000s and beyond in what I'm going to call the mega finale. So make sure you be there. I'll see you there. Have a great day, and I'll catch you lot in the very next video.